All right, so I welcome you to another weekly session. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can heal fatty liver disease. Okay, so before I begin the session properly, I would like to give you a security warning that I would never call you to inform you about these live sessions. I host them over Zoom. And some people with ulterior motives may call you and say that Rita is hosting a session, and they would send you a code to your text via text message, and you should read out that code to them. Okay, please don't do that. They are simply trying to hack into your WhatsApp account. I don't have to call you to share these Zoom codes with you. Okay, it's something that should be public. I don't have to invite you personally. Okay, so I would always put out every information I need to give you on the group, and I would also send out to your email, your email address. Okay, so please, if anyone calls you telling you that they are from me, please don't listen to that person, and kindly put on your two-step verification on WhatsApp. Okay, so that WhatsApp can also let you know that, if you don't give this, if you don't give this person if this person is not authorized to, have access to your WhatsApp account, you should not read out that code to them. Okay. All right. So let's begin our session on fatty liver. So the first things we need to know are that fatty liver affects over 2 billion people worldwide. Okay. Most people with fatty liver don't even know that they have fatty liver. And if they know that they have fatty liver, the treatment for fatty liver is oftentimes the exact opposite of what you actually need to do to heal a fatty liver. Okay. Now, most people, to fix it, they begin to look for superfoods. It's kind of like what we do when we have diabetes, hypertension, liver disease, kidney disease. If we have an issue, we'll start looking for some superfoods or some super products, or something that we can take that would help us get rid of that particular issue that we are having, right? It's what many of us do. However, that's not the right mindset to have. Okay. You will start thinking about, okay, should I take apple? Should I not take apple? What about honey? I get these questions a lot. Rita, should I take this particular food and this particular food? You're looking for one thing to fix it, one magic fruit, or one magic plate of foods that you're going to combine that would help you, okay? Or a supplement or a herb or a product that can help you to fix your problem. Now, I'm not saying that foods and supplements and herbs and these products do not work. What I'm saying is that you should not and you cannot depend on one source alone, because your health is not determined by one source alone. Okay? What you need to understand is that your body can fix and repair itself if you simply give it the right tools. Okay? And instead of focusing on, oh, what should I eat? Should I not eat this? And, I want something that I would take that will fix my problem in 3 days or in 1 week. How about you figure out what exactly caused your problem, and then you work it up from that root cause. Okay? Doing that, you would have a much better understanding. You have faster healing, and you wouldn't also give up too soon on whatever route you are taking to better your health, because you would then understand that you would understand the mechanism behind your treatment, okay? And you wouldn't just dump it and say, oh, it's not working for me, So your health is not dependent on one specific source alone. So don't limit yourself to just one particular thing that you have to do or you need to do that would give you the results that you are looking for, okay? Now, when it comes to treating fatty liver, and I would even say any kind of disease that we are working on, okay, 80% of your progress starts with you stopping whatever it is that is causing you to have that issue in the first place. You have to stop putting whatever it is that is causing you to have a fatty liver. Now, don't worry, we're going to go over the causes of a fatty liver shortly, okay? So that takes up just 80% of your entire progress, okay? Now, the next 15% will depend on the resources that you give your body or your liver. So this is what your liver would need in order to function properly, okay? And then we have the last 5% that would then come from your products, your external products that you would then use, like your supplements and your teas and your herbs and whatever products that you choose to buy. So that just takes up 5% of your progress, okay? So the biggest, most important thing you need to do is to stop putting whatever it is that is causing you to have a fatty liver, okay? Now let's discuss what the causes of this fatty liver are. Now, when I was researching on this topic, I found a comprehensive list of what the mainstream has to say about a fatty liver. Okay, so let's go over it together. They say that one of the reasons people have a fatty liver is that they are obese or overweight. Now, I beg to differ because obesity or being overweight is not the cause of someone having a fatty liver. Someone can have a fatty liver and they are not overweight, neither are they obese. Okay, you can have somebody that is in perfect shape and that person would have a fatty liver. Okay, one of the examples I mean is an alcoholic fatty liver type of situation. So somebody can be an alcoholic, the person may take care of their their weights, and they would still have a fatty liver. So obesity, we can't say that obesity is the cause. And also, not all obese and overweight people have a fatty liver. As crazy as it may sound, not everyone who is obese or overweight is struggling with a fatty liver. And there are also people who are obese and overweight or overweight, and they are struggling with a fatty liver. So there is a correlation between obesity, someone being overweight, and fatty liver, but we cannot say that is a cause, because somebody can lose that weight, shed off that obesity, shed off, whatever excess fats, and they will still have that fatty liver. Do you know that? Because you then have to focus on treating the liver and not just losing weight. You to treat a fatty liver is not just by you losing weight. Okay, when we go into the session properly, as I talk to you, you wouldn't hear me say that one of the things you have to do, to fix your liver or to heal a fatty liver is to lose your weight. No. So there is a correlation, but it's not a causation, okay, of a fatty liver. All right. So the second thing is they say that that someone being a diabetic patient or someone being insulin resistant, maybe you're not even diabetic yet, but you are getting there, okay? So you are insulin resistant or you are pre-diabetic or you already have diabetes. It's one of the causes of a fatty liver, and I totally agree, okay? Because insulin stores fats, okay? Insulin resistance and diabetes, sugar eventually gets turned into fats, okay? And that fat can sometimes stick to the environment of your liver. We call it visceral fats, okay? That means that the fat that surrounds is a specific organ of your body, okay? So that's one of the reasons people have fatty liver, okay? And having metabolic syndrome. So somebody being hypertensive, they're diabetic, they have high triglycerides, high cholesterol, okay? So I also agree that metabolic syndrome is one of the causes of a fatty liver. However, I disagree with high cholesterol because cholesterol is not a nutrient for concern, okay? If cholesterol causes fatty liver, then everybody in this world has fatty liver. How can cholesterol, which is what the liver itself produces, cause it to fail? That means that even children have fatty liver disease. Okay, if we want to say that high cholesterol is one of the causes of fatty liver, because you read when someone has a high cholesterol, and even when you check in that cholesterol, HDL and LDL, even when the LDL is high, it still doesn't mean that the person's cholesterol is bad. Okay, LDL in itself can also be divided into two: good LDL and bad LDL. Okay, what determines the health of your cholesterol is the size of the cholesterol that your body is producing. And what will cause the size of cholesterol to reduce? It's basically inflammation, oxidative stress, okay? Things that you are putting into your body, that is what damages your cholesterol. So cholesterol in its natural and pure state, cholesterol that you eat from your foods, cholesterol that the liver itself produces, you need it. It's an essential nutrient. You cannot survive without cholesterol. And your body needs it so much that your liver doesn't have to depend on you for cholesterol, whether you eat cholesterol-rich foods or you do not eat cholesterol-rich foods. Your liver will produce cholesterol, okay? Because it's an essential nutrient. I had to take 2 days to talk about cholesterol because it's such a huge misconception that we have, okay? And I know that it's also a gradual process, but it's very, very essential that you don't do anything to tamper with your cholesterol, okay? All right. So another reason or another cause of a fatty liver is someone having abdominal obesity. Okay, abdominal obesity simply means somebody having a pot belly where the only region that they have unwanted fats in is in their stomach area, their abdomen. Okay, we call this subcutaneous fat. And what causes this subcutaneous fat is also from sugar. Because when you have high blood sugar, insulin would cause that sugar to turn into fats. The kind of fats, we'll call it triglycerides. That's what triglycerides are, okay? Fat that comes from sugar. And your body has to push it somewhere, okay? So it can push it towards the organs and it can also push it, towards your abdomen. So when we say that somebody has abdominal obesity, this is what is going on with that person. The body is turning the fat that they are consuming, the sugar, sorry, that they are consuming into fats. Okay, so we can put the list together. If I ask you what causes a fatty liver, you can tell me that the cause of fatty liver would be insulin resistance, which is basically somebody having somebody not being able to control their sugar. So insulin resistance, which is one of the things that would cause you to have a pot belly, as well as metabolic syndrome. So hypertension, high triglycerides, etc. Okay. Now, what is going to cause you to have metabolic syndrome or insulin resistance? Okay. So I also researched on this, and this list that you are seeing currently is what the mainstream says. Okay, what are the things that will cause you to be a hypertensive patient? What are the things that will cause you to have low carbohydrate tolerance? What are the things that will cause you to have very high insulin? Okay, that your body then becomes resistant, that will then make you have a fatty liver. Okay, all right. So let's look at this list together. They say that one of the things that causes metabolic syndrome is poultry, except you remove the skin of your chicken or your turkey or your white meat. Okay, what is basically saying is that when you take off that skin, the chicken automatically becomes healthy, or the poultry food automatically becomes healthy. I beg to differ, okay? And you would see why I beg to differ as we go on in the session, okay? Another reason they say is a cause of metabolic syndrome is full fat cheese, okay? Yogurts, except low fats. Now, they are basically recommending that you cut off things that have high fats. It's just like the poultry, they say that it has saturated fats, right? So when you remove the skin, it then becomes somehow somehow it no longer has saturated fats. Okay, but then fat is also a macronutrient. Fat is one of those it's one of your top macronutrients that your body needs. Your body actually needs fats more than it needs you to consume carbohydrates. Okay, your body needs you to consume fats more than it needs you to consume carbohydrates. A simple reason for this is that what your body would derive from that fat is that's what your body would use to create new cells for turnover. It's one of the important things that your body would need for repair, okay? And creating new tissues so that you can get healthier, okay? Now, if they say that you should go on low fat and consume low fat yogurts, what makes yogurt healthy? It's milk. If we want to break down why yogurt should be healthy for you, it's milk, really, okay? And what makes milk healthy? The fat content. Milk is not just protein. Milk is also a very, very good source of fats. And when you remove the fat from that milk to make it low-fat yogurt or low-fat milk, you would lose the nutrients of that milk, okay? And to then make up for the calories of low-fat yogurt or low-fat milk, they would then have to add stabilizers and hidden sugars to meet up to the calorie content that otherwise a full fat milk or a full fat yogurt should buy. But because we now have this bad conception about fat and fat not being good for us, and we see it as something that we should avoid, when you want to buy milk or you want to buy yogurt and you see low fat milk or low fat yogurt, you then think that, okay, because it's low fat, it must be a healthier version for me. Okay, we call this a marketing gimmick. Okay, anything that says low fat, no added sugar, low calories, all these things are marketing gimmicks. No cholesterol. When you see them, because of the misconceptions that we have, you would automatically think that, okay, this must be a better version for me. Whereas the more processing our foods get, for it to become that no cholesterol and no fat and low fat and whatever, the worse it becomes. Okay, it gets worse because you have to process this thing to then remove the fat content from milk. You have to process it. And with processing comes with, you would be deprived of nutrients. Okay, so be aware of all these marketing gimmicks and low fat and no fat, etc. Okay. Another thing that they say is wrong for you is red meat. And also, why would they say that red meat is bad for your liver? It's also because of the saturated contents, okay? And baked goods, I can understand baked goods because to bake, you would have to use things like flour and sugar and baking powder and all these things, okay? And fried foods. But then they don't stop there. They say that the only baked and fried foods that are unhealthy for you are foods that are baked or fried with palm oil or coconut oil. So they're essentially saying that palm oil or coconut oil is wrong for you. Okay, if palm oil and coconut oil is bad for you, which oil would you now use? You are supposed to use your vegetable oil. Okay, vegetable oil that you derive from something that has little to no fat. Look, just picture a groundnut in your mind. Can you imagine how you are going to press a groundnut to the point where oil will come out from that groundnut? It's not possible. So you would have to go through so much processing, and they will have to degum it and deodorize it and do lots of things to something like a groundnut, for example, okay, to then bring out the oil content. But then when you see that, oh, it's vegetable oil, because of the word vegetable, you automatically think that it's healthy for you. Whereas you can derive oil from foods like palm kernel, that's, all you have to do is just boil it and pound it, and you already have oil. Okay, and you can use that oil to cook and make your banga stew and whatever. Okay, the same with coconut. You can make coconut oil from your house without having to do much to get oil out of something like coconut. And the reason it's so is because of the saturated fat content. So this list is basically telling you that you can eat baked and fried foods, oh, just make sure that it's not from foods that actually have oil. So bake and fry your foods from oils that are derived from sources that have little to no fats or oil content in them. Okay, so you can see how what you are being advised to do is a complete opposite of what you should be doing. Okay. And then, of course, we have your sugary items like your candies, your soft drinks, your refined sugars, etc. Okay. So this is what the mainstream has to tell you about the causes of metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance that would eventually cause you to have fatty liver disease. Okay. So, like I said, on that list, majorly saturated fat is being focused on. And we only see sugar at the bottom end of the list. So if I'm to follow that list, I would basically cut off all of my fats. Okay, I'll have to cut off all of my fats, and then sugar would be the last thing. However, if you want to get rid of a fatty liver, your sugar should be the number one thing that you would even think about, and not the last thing for you to remove, because sugar in itself is a toxin to the liver. Okay. All right. Now we have discussed the causes of a fatty liver, which is metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. But why? Why is it that when I eat foods that can give me insulin resistance and foods that sets me up for metabolic syndrome, why exactly does it target my liver? Okay, why does my liver have to bear the burden? The first thing is an overload. Okay, now what will cause your liver to have an overload? The first thing is sugar. Now, sugar is of two types. Okay, sugar can mean starch, that is starch, glucose that you get from your bread. You know, that's sugar in some form. That is sugar in the form of glucose. And you also have sugar in the form of fructose. Okay. Now, when you take a look at your granulated sugar, the sugar you use to drink tea and pap, the sugar you use to bake, okay, in your house, white, normal sugar, even brown sugar too. Okay. When you look at that sugar, it contains 50% glucose and 50% fructose. Now, your body can spread out glucose around your entire body system. Okay. It can push glucose into the cells. Okay. Which is what then gives you the energy to then move around and walk and write and go to your office and deal with Lagos traffic, etc. However, that's 50% fructose that comes in that granulated sugar and brown sugar that you use to drink tea and you use to drink pap and Quaker oats in your house contains fructose. And you see that fructose cannot be distributed to all the cells in your body. No. The only thing that can metabolize that fructose is your liver. So you see that when you consume excess sugar, you give your body an overload of fructose, and that fructose is directed to the liver, and the liver has to work on it. Okay. It's the same with alcohol. It's only the liver that can process alcohol. No other cell in your body can metabolize alcohol. It's just your liver. And the same with your toxins as well. So when you take all these medications you take every single day, you know, in multiple pills, when you take them, where do they to break them down? It's your liver. Okay. So medication that you use excessively, medications that you have to depend on for you to live your life, can be a toxin for your liver. Okay. Now, you see, sugar and alcohol, when your body is too focused on the excess sugar and alcohol that you are taking, it wouldn't pay much attention to the medications and the little amount of pesticides that that some of us consume from our plant foods and the heavy metals that we consume from our animal foods. Okay, most of these things, they just come with, you know, how the animals are being fed, how they are being bred, and how the crops are grown. Okay, so sometimes we eat a little bit of pesticides, especially when we don't wash, you know, our foods properly. Okay, when you don't wash your carrots well, you don't wash your leafy vegetables well. Okay, some of us can consume these pesticides. Now, ordinarily, your liver is meant to detoxify you. So when you eat these pesticides and heavy metals, usually they are not in large quantities and your liver can just deal with it, and I mean, it's not every day that you're supposed to take medications, right? You should take your medications when, you are ill, you are down with typhoid or malaria, or anything that will cause you to have a medication, okay? But when you start dealing with issues like hypertension and diabetes and having when you go to the clinic and they tell you, oh, your cholesterol is too high, and you look at your cholesterol blood test, your lipid profile test, you see that, oh, it's not my LDL that is high. You wouldn't bother to check further to know, okay, what exactly is wrong in my LDL? Okay, the size matters, the health of your LDL matters. That's when you now know whether or not you have high cholesterol or not just by your reading. Okay, so when you go to the hospital and you say that you have high cholesterol, they don't care to know whether your LDL is actually healthy LDL or not. All they know is that it is high, it is no good. They give you medication. You have to take that medication every day. All these things are being directed to your liver. And when your liver is too focused on alcohol and sugar, it doesn't pay attention to these toxins. Okay, these minor toxins like medications and pesticides and heavy metals. And when it doesn't pay attention to them because it's too busy fighting your fructose sugar and alcohol, these toxins will just begin to pile up and wait somewhere and just tell your liver, okay, you don't have time for me. I'll just sit here and wait for you. You just continue going about your business, fighting sugar and alcohol. The toxins will just keep piling and piling and piling up. Okay, and this is how you develop a fatty liver. Okay, now another reason you develop fatty liver because of metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance is because of the inflammation. Okay, when you eat excess sugar and eat excess carbohydrates, you develop insulin resistance. And when you have high levels of insulin, it changes the sugar into fats. Okay, because insulin will try to push the sugar into the cells. The cells are saying, no, I've had enough sugar for the day. Give it to somebody else. Insulin would have no choice but to turn it into fats. Okay, and to now push that fat it would surround the fats. It will put the fat around your liver and push the fat to where it will see space, okay, which is that abdominal fats, okay, that we call pot belly. So it just keep piling and piling and piling everything up there for you, okay, and we call this inflammation because that fat is not supposed to be there. So if you think about it, it is suppressing your organs. It is taking up space, where it is not supposed to take up space. All right. So high levels of insulin is one of the things that will cause inflammation. Another thing that causes inflammation is your vegetable oils. Okay. So oils that you have to derive from foods that have very little to no oil content, like your corn, your canola, soya bean, etc. These are basically seeds, grains, or legumes. Okay. When you process something to the point where it is now bland, you can't even, okay, the only reason you would ever need vegetable oil in your kitchen is because you want to fry something, right? You want to fry stew or you want to fry yam. Okay, you just want to give your food a different should I say form, so you can't just carry vegetable oil and drink. That would be abnormal because it doesn't have any nutrients. It's completely bland. There's no flavor. There's nothing that vegetable oil is adding to your life. Okay, in terms of nutrients, there is nothing. The only thing it gives you is just enjoyment of your meals. Okay, and at expense, you then have inflammation because it is so processed to the point where there is nothing. And then they write no cholesterol, and you say that, oh, it has no cholesterol, you are happy, you buy vegetable oil. Okay. And then the worst part is you don't just use the vegetable oil, you use and reuse and reuse and reuse and reuse and reuse until it turns brown. So these are the things that will cause you to have inflammation. It will begin to damage your cells. Your liver cells no longer begin to work as they are supposed to work because you're not consuming right. We are not eating right. Okay. And then you have food allergens. So some people are allergic to certain kinds of food. Some people are allergic to wheat. Other people are allergic to soy. So if you know, some people are also allergic to dairy as well. Okay. Some people are allergic to milk products. Okay. So whatever foods that you know cause you an allergy, it's best to stay away from those foods. Okay. And then stress. Now, when you read that I put stress here, to you, it can be like, why is stress why is stress here? What does stress have to do with my liver? Okay. Now, with stress comes reduced blood flow. Okay. When you are highly stressed out, you have less blood flowing through your system. Okay. And your liver, if I'm telling you, you need to eat right, okay, and you need to reduce toxins, your liver is for detoxification, etc. Okay, if I'm telling you all these things, how do you think it gets to your liver? It's through your blood. Your blood is a means of transportation through your entire body system. And when you are stressed out, you have a decreased blood flow to your liver. So the things that your liver would need, like your nutrients and the things that the resources you are going to give it, that it would need to properly function, it doesn't have them anymore. It can't get them because of the decreased blood flow to your liver. And also the things that it's supposed to get out of your body system, it wouldn't be able to get them out because of the decreased blood flow. Okay. Another thing with stress, like I've said, is that stress makes you pay more attention to your outer environment and less attention to your inner environment. You cannot, okay, I've mentioned this before. You have two forms of your autonomic nervous system. There is a part of your nervous system that controls the things that you don't really think about, like your breathing, your sleeping. There are different things that you don't have to think about before you do them. We call the part of your body that controls that, the part of your brain that controls that, the autonomic nervous system. Now we divide that nervous system into two parts. Okay, you have a sympathetic. The work of that sympathetic is to make sure that you are ready to run and protect yourself, okay, from any danger, be it mentally. Your body sees mental and emotional stress as physical stress. That's the way it handles it. It doesn't differentiate the two. So if you're stressed out physically, exercise is a form of physical stress. And if you are stressed out mentally, you are worried about your house rent and your children's school fees, your body processes that mental stress and emotional stress as actual physical stress, like you are going through it. So some of you can sweat and you begin to pant, and that's how people have panic attacks. Okay, so stress basically causes your body to be in a state of fight or flight. Your body doesn't have time to relax and repair. You cannot do both at the same time. You cannot have your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system working at the same time. One has to be more than the other. And many of us have fight or flight part of our nervous system higher than the rest, or digest and repair. Okay, so when you focus too much on the things going on around you that cause you to be stressed out, you miss out on the time and the attention that your body would have otherwise put into actually repairing and digesting and making sure that everything is going on in your system. Okay. Another thing with stress is that many of us don't know that we are stressed out. Okay. Many of us don't know. For us, it's like a normal, regular day-to-day activity. Okay, it's just like when you live in Nigeria and you finally travel out and you just realize how how different things can be, and you wouldn't have to be worried about electricity and different things. Okay, you wouldn't have to be worried about excess traffic jam. All these things take a toll on your health. Okay, they all take a toll on your health, and everywhere is polluted and dirty and so many things. Okay, so when you live in Nigeria, if you compare living in Nigeria and living abroad, it's very, very, very different. And some of us are highly stressed out in this country that you don't even know that your day-to-day state, your day-to-day mental state is stress. Okay, obviously in that kind of situation, your body cannot do what it needs to do to make sure that your liver and everything that is working in your and make sure that that your liver is detoxifying and doing all the things that it needs to do. Okay, all right, so I've been talking for about 40 minutes. I would like to know if we are together, please. Are we following? Hello, are you with me? Please let me know. Okay, I've been talking for a while. Okay, okay. All right, so let's now talk about how to actually fix a fatty liver. Okay, so we have talked about the causes of a fatty liver, metabolic syndrome, and insulin resistance. And I've also talked about how you get metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. Okay, I've talked about the foods that you eat that can cause you to be to have insulin resistance and have metabolic syndrome. So, like I said, 80% of your progress has to do with you stopping these things. Okay. So 80% of your healing has to do with you reducing your sugar, your alcohol, and your stress level, your vegetable oils, doing things that will cause you to have a higher insulin levels. You have to stop all those things. And when you stop them, that is 80% of the work is already done. Okay. Now let's look at how to actually fix a fatty liver. Okay. Now, if you research or if you type into Google, how can I fix my fatty liver? Okay. You would see first that you should avoid alcohol, and rightfully so. But why doesn't it ever say that you should stop sugar? It never says that. It never, 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 never says that. And the thing about alcoholic fatty liver disease is that it just takes up 1% of all fatty liver cases. Let me repeat. We talk about alcohol being so bad to the liver and alcoholic fatty liver. With the 2 billion cases of fatty liver in the world, alcoholic fatty liver just takes up 1%. The remaining 99 is non-alcoholic fatty liver. So why is it that when we research how to fix a fatty liver, one of the first things we see is to avoid alcohol? What about sugar? Okay, we don't talk about it. Okay, and then we talk about losing weight. And yes, losing weight can be beneficial to you, especially when it has to do with your pot belly. Okay, it can be beneficial to you, but losing weight is not the cause. Losing weight, you can shed your weight quite all right, but your liver will still be fatty. You can lose all the weight that you want to lose, but your liver will itself still be fatty, except you do the things that you need to do to heal your fatty liver. Okay. And then we have taking medication to control diabetes. But then when you take anti-diabetic medication and you have to depend on anti-diabetic medication, remember, it's also your liver that will deal with it. Right? It's also your liver that will have to break down these medications. And we discussed that your liver can handle it in small quantities, but when it becomes a situation where you have to depend on it, then it's like you are counteracting your healing process. It then becomes a toxin. Your body then sees it as a toxin. So why do they advise that we have to take medication to control diabetes? Why didn't they advise that we fix our diets? If you fix your diet as a diabetic patient, it means that you are cutting off sugar, and you are cutting off carbs, and you are cutting off the things that will cause you to be insulin resistant. But they don't say that. They say take medication to control diabetes. And medication in itself would then, you have to depend on it, and it would then become a toxin to your liver. You are giving your liver more work to do. And then we also have taking vitamin E, and I totally agree. Vitamin E is also one of the things that would help you with your fatty liver healing process. Okay. Now, is fatty liver reversible? Can you actually reverse fatty liver? So let's just quickly go through the stages of liver damage. Okay. So if you can see my pointer, we have here a healthy liver. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. And then we get into non-alcoholic fatty liver state, or a fatty liver, or an alcoholic fatty liver state. Okay. Now, at this point, it is actually reversible. Okay. At this second stage, it is reversible. At this point, what is going on is that, be it alcoholic or non-alcoholic, okay, your liver has been infiltrated with fats that it does not need. Okay, your body has been infiltrated with fats that it does not need. Now, the cells of the liver itself at this point in time is not pathological. Okay, it's not breaking down. Your liver is still working as it's supposed to work. However, it has been infiltrated with fats that it does not need. So at this point, you can reverse it. Okay. And at this point, really, some of us, this is where most of us are, but we don't know because it doesn't show up when you take a blood test. There is another stage before you get to this liver cirrhosis. There is another stage that we call hepatitis. And that is the stage that it will then show up in your blood test. And at that stage, it means that certain cells of your liver have died. Okay. And at that point, it means that your liver, it's no longer as effective as it should be. It's no longer working as it should be. Okay. So your body, your liver is so important. If your cells die, your body has to alert you. And then it will release some hormones that we call ALS and ALS, if I remember. ALT and AST, yes. So if you take a blood test, if you take an examination of your liver, and you see that you have these enzymes, ALT and AST, show up, then it means that you are in stage 3. Okay, you are in stage 3, not liver cirrhosis where it is completely irreversible, but it's also a danger zone because some of your liver cells have died. Okay, and you need to start working on yourself. At that point, it is still reversible, but it will take a lot more work. Okay, but when you are just having liver disease, definitely it is completely reversible. Okay, which is where many people are at currently. Okay, and then you have liver cirrhosis. At that point, it's completely irreversible. There is nothing that can be done concerning liver cirrhosis. Okay, you just have to keep up your health as much as you can. But at that point, the liver is completely damaged, and when the liver is damaged, it means that what you need to help you clean up your system is no longer there. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about how we can fix the liver disease that we can fix. Okay. And not liver cirrhosis. Let's talk about how we can fix liver damage and hepatitis. Okay. So like I said, first thing, stop putting whatever it is that is causing you to have the fatty liver in the first place. Okay, that takes up 80% of your healing is already down. Now, the next 15% would be that you need to give your body some resources. Your liver is working so hard. Okay, you need to give your body some things that your body would then use, give it to your liver, and your liver would help, it would help your liver to recover and, do what it needs to do for you. Okay, and what are these resources? The extra 5% would then come from your extra tools that you may need, tools that you may need externally. Okay, but 80% of your healing comes from you removing whatever it is that is causing you to have a fatty liver. 15% comes from these resources. What are these resources? Number 1, amino acids. Okay, so you need methionine, cysteine. This would then your body would use methionine and cysteine to make another antioxidant that would help to clean up your system. Okay, now where can you get these amino acids from? It's from your beef, your chicken, your eggs, and we call these saturated fats. If you need these saturated fats to help get your liver back on track, why do they say that we have to avoid them? Number two, what do I need? What are the resources my liver needs to function properly and to heal? Choline. Choline is a B vitamin. What it helps to do is to dissolve that liver fat. Okay. So like I said, when you have insulin resistance, your body would turn sugar into fats and surround your liver with fat, right? It is choline that is going to help dissolve that fat that surrounds your liver, dissolve that visceral fat, okay? And how do you get choline from natural sources? You get it from your egg, your liver, your green leaves. Now, at this point, I have to tell you that two things, if you ask me, what am I going to eat in order to have a healthy liver or to reverse my liver disease? It is simply meat and vegetables. That is it. You have to eat meat and vegetables, meat also including eggs. Okay, so beef, chicken, eggs, liver, liver that you get from animals. Okay, and then your vegetables. That is the cheat code to liver disease reversal. Meat and vegetables, you need as much saturated fats as you can get. Okay, now another thing we have to talk about is your bile. And this is why I say you need enough saturated fats. Now, your liver makes bile, okay? And your liver puts this bile into a gallbladder. I'm sorry, I should have had a picture to show you, okay? But your liver makes bile and it puts it into a gallbladder. And it also puts out all these toxins from your medications and your pesticides and, from the things that you eat that your body doesn't need anymore. It packages all the toxins and it pushes it into the gallbladder, okay? And for you to empty that gallbladder, you need fats, okay? Fat is that signal that will tell your body, okay, empty the waste bin. It is fats that would signal your body to do that, okay? So if you now eat a low-fat diet, if you now eat foods that are high in carbohydrates, low in fats, it means that you are actually storing up toxins that your liver has said that it doesn't need, okay? And then when your liver will then try to make some fat in the form of cholesterol, you will now take extra medication to restrict your liver from producing fat that it needs to empty. Can you see that we are actually just going in a loop? Do you realize that we are just going in circles when it comes to healing? Okay, I'm talking about healing in the natural way. Okay, what we are advised to do completely counteracts what we are actually supposed to do. Okay, except you then take it upon yourself to, do things differently and really, really, really understand how your body works. That is only when that is when you would come to realize these things. And thankfully, that's why I'm here, okay, to help you. But really, when it comes to medicine, standard medicine, we are just going in a loop, okay? So the liver is meant to detoxify. If it cannot make bile because of the absence of fats, if it cannot empty the gallbladder because of the absence of fats, then those toxins will remain there, okay? And it will cause you to have a fatty liver, okay? And finally, your stress, okay? You have to get a list. I can give you a list of foods, like I've said, eat your meat and vegetables and stop putting things that will cause you to have metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. I can tell you to, do all those things. But if you don't reduce your stress, how do you reduce your stress? First, by exercising, relaxing, and meditating. Last week, we had a session on breathing. Okay, I would advise that you watch it, and not just watch it, that you practice it. Okay, because it's huge. As simple as stress it, you can say, well, after all, I am relaxed right now. Okay, how about the other times that you are not relaxed? You know, how about the other times that you are not relaxed? So stress is one of those things that would really, really, really cause you. Sorry, I was cut off. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I was cut off. Okay, okay. All right. So I was saying that stress is one of the things that would cause your healing process to slow down. Okay. Now let's talk about that last 5% that you would need, that you can get from your external sources. Okay. So for that, that would mean supplements, teas, herbal drinks, products that would add and not be the sole thing that would cause you to drain or to heal your fatty liver completely. Okay, remember, it just takes up 5%. Okay, and not, it doesn't take up the entire bulk of your healing. Now, one of the things that you would need, vitamin E, like I mentioned, is one of the things that would help you. And then I also mentioned amino acids. I mentioned B vitamins as well, and also antioxidants. Okay. Now, these three things, you can definitely get them on your own, and you can also get them from your foods. So if you follow what I told you when I said eat your meat and vegetables, you will be able to get these three things, okay, that you need. However, if you need that extra support of that 5%, you can get your vitamins, get your amino acids, get your antioxidants, and your B vitamins as well. Okay. And I also have vitamins for you. I have vitamins separately, antioxidants separately, and amino acids separately. And I also have all of them together for you in the wellness pack. Okay, so that's the last 5% that you need. Okay, and with this, we are done with the fatty liver session for today. So please ask me your questions. Okay, questions, comments, feedback, please let me know. Okay, and how did you see the session today? Was it informative? I hope that I gave you enough information that you need to help you with your fatty liver reversal. Okay, so please ask me any questions you may have, and let me know. You can share any of your thoughts with me as well. Okay, and if you don't have any questions or comments, we are done. You can leave. Okay, thank you for coming. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming, for joining me live. Questions, comments? I have issues with eggs. How best can I eat eggs? You can eat your eggs boiled. I wouldn't recommend that you fry them. Okay. The best way to eat your eggs would be to boil them. Okay. When you say you have issues with eggs, are you allergic to eggs? Okay. While I wait for your response, is fatty liver the same as hepatitis? Okay, when we say fatty liver, it's a general term to say that the liver is faulty, kind of. Okay, so we have a healthy liver, and then it progresses to liver disease. Okay, and from liver disease, it turns into hepatitis, okay? And from hepatitis, it turns into liver cirrhosis, okay? So we can say all of them are fatty liver, okay? Yes, we can generalize it and say, okay, fatty liver, but there are different stages, okay? From a healthy normal liver, we go into liver disease, and from liver disease, we go into hepatitis, and from hepatitis, we go into liver cirrhosis, okay? Is cirrhosis something as heart enlargement? No, no. Liver cirrhosis means that your liver has gotten to the point where your liver can no longer detoxify, your liver can no longer act to help you. Okay, it means that your liver has lost some of its cells, and pathologically, your liver is not, it's not at its best anymore, to the point where there is really little to nothing you can do about it. Okay, it's the type that kills people. Okay, so no, it's not about heart enlargement. Okay, the yolk, because of cholesterol, I only eat the white. Okay, if you are concerned about egg is, you see this multivitamin I have up here for you. Egg is like nature's multivitamin to you. Okay, you should not be afraid of your eggs and also eating your egg yolk. Okay, and I've spoken about this before, but I will just say that you should watch my cholesterol session. Okay, with all the things that will kill you in this life, with all the things that can cause a human being to die, I promise you, it's not because of the yolk, that it's not because of the cholesterol that you are getting from egg yolk that will kill you. No human being has ever died because they ate egg yolk and, because of the cholesterol content from egg yolk. I promise you that nobody has ever died because of egg yolk. With all the things that will cause you to die, egg is not one of them. Okay. But I understand the misconception that we have when it comes to eggs and cholesterol. Okay. But the best way for you to eat your eggs would be to boil them. Okay. So if you boil your egg and you don't want to eat the yolk because of the cholesterol, then you can simply remove the yolk. Okay. Okay. So I hope that helps you. What are the early detections of liver disease? Insulin resistance, someone having high blood sugar, hypertension also. For you to detect liver disease from a blood test, it means that you are now in hepatitis stage. Okay? But liver disease, you cannot really get it from a blood test. It's simply by your lifestyle. Okay? Because for you to detect that you have high blood sugar, or that you are insulin resistant, or that you have pot belly, it means that you already have some level of liver damage, because that's the only way that you would be able to detect it. If your liver can no longer control your blood sugar, if your body can no longer control its own blood sugar, okay, and its own blood pressure. All right, so that's the best way. Diabetic patients specifically, because hypertension, so many things can cause you to be hypertensive, but diabetes is pretty straightforward. Okay, so diabetic patients, when you begin to cut out all those things, like I've mentioned, okay, like I said, 80% of your healing is already down, so don't be afraid. Okay, but to answer your question, when you begin to detect liver disease from the blood test that you have, it means that you are already in hepatitis stage. Liver disease, you cannot detect it from a blood test. It's simply by your lifestyle. So you just examine yourself, do you have metabolic syndrome? Do you have abdominal obesity? Are you a diabetic patient? Are you struggling with insulin resistance? Then the chances are that, your liver is getting damaged. Okay. And don't be afraid. It's completely reversible at liver disease. Okay. You can completely 100% reverse a liver disease. Okay. Is it true that any cholesterol reading above 200 is bad and doctors give statin? Once upon a time, the target for high cholesterol was 300. Then it got reduced to 250. And now it's 200. We don't know. Maybe 10, 20, 30 years from now, it will be 150. It will be 100. We don't know. But yes, that is a marker that doctors use. Okay. Except if you go to the clinic and you have a lipid profile test, except your doctor advises you otherwise, most times they will administer a statin to bring down your cholesterol. Okay. Also, except your doctor goes deeper to find out if that high cholesterol is good or bad. Okay. They may or may not give you a statin. Okay. The issue of cholesterol, like I said, I had to take 2 days, 2 live sessions, 90 minutes each to really break down high cholesterol and discussing whether it's bad or not, and also how you would know if your cholesterol is an issue. Okay. But yes, to answer your question, sir, if your cholesterol is above 200, except your doctor decides to, run a few more tests and see whether, you are actually okay and know about the health of your cholesterol and the size of your cholesterol, they would give you a cholesterol lowering medication. Okay. So that's where we are currently. At some point, the target point was 300, got reduced, and now it's been reduced again. It's the same with hypertension too. It's the same with hypertension. At some point, readings, a healthy reading was about 150, then it got reduced to 140, then it got reduced to 120. And everybody is battling now to get to that 120/80 phase. If your blood pressure there crosses over 140, it means that patient is going to panic, right? Can we really fit everybody into the 120/80 range? Is it possible that every single human being God created in this life would have to have a reading of 120/80? I've done these talks and you have been a part of them. We have discussed these things. Just make sure that you do right by your health, okay? And you go the extra mile, you go the extra mile because you can do everything, perfectly fine. Somebody can be so healthy and their body needs that extra cholesterol, and then they have that reading is 300, it becomes a problem. And they have to be giving these medications and they will tell you, okay, don't eat meat and don't eat eggs and do all these things, just to bring the cholesterol down. But does the cholesterol really need to come down? Okay. Any other question? So you can just refer to my previous sessions, okay? Refer to my previous sessions. I know it's not easy information to hear. It wasn't easy for me too. It's not easy information to hear that you probably haven't been getting things right for quite a while. But that's life. You unlearn and you relearn. Hmm? Okay, any other question? Any other question or comments? You are welcome. Thank you for joining me live and staying till the end. Questions, comments, feedback? And if there are none, you are free to go, okay? You are free to go. Thank you for joining me live today and for being a part of my audience, okay? Okay. I take it that there are no other questions. Hmm? All right. So take good care of yourself. I wish you the best of health. I would see you again next week. I'm thinking maybe we should discuss saturated fats next week. We are speaking about fatty liver today because somebody requested that I talk about it. So you can always let me know topics that you are interested in and we can meet on Zoom and talk about them. Okay. So I'm thinking we should discuss saturated fats next week. I would let you know. Okay. I would let you know. You can send me a message or an email for the supplements. Okay. You can message me. You to be here, it means that you can reach me. Hmm? So my number, that's my number. Okay. You can reach me, and for my previous sessions, you can find them on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. Okay. So my YouTube channel and my Facebook page is the same name, Rita Manafa hyphen your wellness consultant. Okay. So that's the same name for my YouTube or and my Facebook. Okay. I upload all of my live sessions there. No problem, ma. I would send you replay now. Okay, not now. I would need about 30 minutes to put the sessions together. Okay, but I'll have the replay available for you tonight. Okay, 30 minutes after I end this session. Okay. All right. So I wish you all the best of health. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, when you listen to the session, when you listen to the replay, I mentioned alcohol, sugar, um, carbohydrates, things that will cause you to be insulin resistant or cause you to have pot belly. Okay, cutting those things down, and then to heal your liver, you need to eat meat and vegetables. Okay, and then you can get extra help from things like supplements and herbs and products that can help you. Okay. All right. Okay. So can I leave now? Are we okay? Are we good to go? Okay. Okay. So take care. I would see you again next week by the grace of God. Bye.